Hi, folks. Thanks for tuning in. This isn't one of my usual rants, but it's a wee message that I've had on my mind for a wee while. This is one that I should really have probably have written notes for or written a script for, but it's really my thoughts on s- um, spiritual versus psychic. And for a long time, I thought the two were uh, basically the same. You were spiritual. That meant you were psychic. You got feelings, messages, whatever. And I never considered myself spiritual in that way. Um, Many of my friends wrapped my knuckles for that comment, but I had an aunt who was a psychic medium, and she was good. She was really good. She was your typical wee village tea wife. If any of the villagers had problems, issues, things they wanted to do clarification on, they went along to Martha. She would get them a cup of tea, read the tea leaves in the days who had tea leaves, turn it round on the cup, on the saucer, da 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 da. Or she would take something they were wearing or something that was precious to them and she would hold it and she would get the vibes that way and make the connection. Um, she was good. I mean, one quick story was a woman had gone because her younger brother was due to appear in court over something. Because of his age, his father had to go as well. The woman went to Martha to get some clarification. Martha told the woman that the father wouldn't be attending court. The woman went away quite happy, assuming that the charges were going to be dropped. But in actual fact, the father dropped dead a few days before the court appearance. Hmm. So she got it right, but it's always a difficult message to put across. You don't know how things fall out. Anyway, point is, she was good. I never saw myself having that ability. Therefore, I was never spiritual. But in actual fact, I was never psychic. But we and all in the family just accepted it. Um, my father just accepted that uh, my mother's side of the family believed in it. He had no time for it, took no part in it until he was literally on his deathbed. And then his brother, who had passed away a few years before that, with whom he was very, very close, appeared to him to take him at the end. That was a weird story. But anyway, it just lets you see. So, although I've always considered myself, looking back now, I see that there were weird things that have happened throughout my life. There was a period where I was reading tarot cards. Martha used to read cards, never tarot as such, but she had a pack of playing cards that she had adapted for the purpose. And I would do this, and I had some strange coincidences when I was given a reading that I just put down as coincidences or, oh, well, I read it in their face or as you do, and I never thought no more of it. The only time I ever saw what could be termed a ghost was my daughter's dog, who had never been in the house that I was living in, but a couple of days after the dog passed, came and visited, clear as day. I can still see it in my mind's eye as a memory. So, because the dog had never been there before, it wasn't a memory that had conjured up. And I mean, the dog was almost solid in form. It was so clear, mannerisms, the way it looked, and then when I wasn't paying attention and using the PC, it nudged my hand. So I picked up on that. Over the past wee while, um, still me thinking that I couldn't do these things. Weird things have started to happen. I matched up somebody else's visual on a craniosacral session that I was having, where the lower part of my spine appeared to glow like a light bulb. And apparently, she was using light to work on the spine, and I was picking this up. What else? I mean, a few other wee bits and pieces. Uh, I'm reckoning, although I'm not very good at meditating, during a past life meditation, I managed to pick up on a spirit guide. The reason I think that was real was because I, I had been told I had a spirit bear. So when I was being led to think about my spirit guide, I was focusing on this bear coming towards me. But on a hill, I had, on the corner of my eye sort of thing, I had a clear picture of this, who I now believe is a spirit guide. The reason I'm saying all this is because more recently, I've been doing an intuitive healing course, which of course I didn't realise was going to had an intuitive element, um, but it did, and I thought, well, can I do this? And of course, the weird thing is, although I've not been getting them all right and spot on, I have had some remarkable accuracies that throws me off my perch completely. To be honest, the first one I got through that was correct. I was so blown away that I didn't touch it again for weeks, as I thought, whoa, this is a bit weird. This can't be right. Oh, that's no me. But then more recently again, I've had several accuracies, not as good as a practitioner, but better than I would have ever expected I could do. What I'm trying to say here is that I feel that we tend to put off as coincidences and tells, oh, I picked this, I must have picked up it from here, or I recognised that point. I knew exactly what day, by the way, I was getting my £500 government bonus for my pension. Ha! I knew exactly what day that was coming. I wish I'd written it down in advance now, because sure enough, it came on that day, even although it had a period of, 10 weeks over which people were getting this money deposited. I knew the day mine was coming. So what I'm saying is that there's a number of tarot readers, astrologers, folk like Cliff High, who are saying over the next 6 months, folk are going to become more perceptive to psychic message, for want of a better way I put it. And what I'm trying to say from my experience is, stop making excuses. Stop making excuses for yourself or putting it down as coincidence. And one of the best things that I heard was, the first thing that comes into your mind is an intuitive message. The next one is you've been thinking about it. So the first thing that drops into your head may well start thinking of it as intuitive. Thinking about it as a message from source, or however it is you explain these things. Start recognizing that you've got it, because over the next 6 months it's going to multiply. And if you don't start now, you might start missing them. Stop writing it off as an excuse. Stop writing it off as a coincidence. Stop writing it off as, oh, I must have picked that up from such and such. And start having faith in yourself. And I'd be the first person my friends know fine well to say I've no faith in my ability, but I'm going to have to start. So I'm really talking to myself here too. We need to start. We need to start recognizing these messages that come through, or the intuitive signals that we pick up, our gut reactions, all of these things, and stop writing them off. Because, I mean, folk that tune into me, for instance, they're going to be far along the line anyway. And many of them won't even need me telling them, because they're already there. But if you feel at any stage that you're not quite up to it, for goodness sake, stop making excuses. Latch on to the fact that, okay, we can all do it. Although I've always poo-pooed people who said that in the past. But if you're getting any signal, start catching it. Don't let it get away. Hold on to it. And build that faith in yourself for this message. Because when you do start to accept it, it is a bit weird. It's almost like getting burnt on the bum with something. But maybe I shouldn't say that on YouTube. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. Throw some comments in if you feel appropriate, and if you think this might help somebody else to tune in, then or discuss the possibilities, then feed it across them. But live, love, and be happy. And thanks for tuning in. Bye bye.